Metallica songs representing their album, ranking all their 10 albums. 6 less than Iron Maiden, so this isn't gonna be a 30-minute ordeal. So, I don't own any of these songs physically. I don't. I don't have any records. Well, Apple Music I do, so physically I do, but I do not own the rights. That goes to Metallica and writers and Lars, who he co-wrote literally every single song, and whoever wrote the song, the producers and the managers, and Metallica themselves. So let's just get straight into the list, and we're gonna start with in my opinion, the worst to best. But all the albums are good. So I'm gonna first play the song to get you into it, and then we're gonna talk about it while it's playing in the background. So at number 10 comes in Load with the song being Bleeding Me. This is a very quiet song, so I'm just gonna keep it like that because it's not as loud as other songs. I don't know what went wrong with Load. I don't know what went wrong with it. It's definitely a good album, but it does not lead up to the greatness of which is Death Magnetic and Hardwired to Self-Destruct, which are more recent albums that did much better than an older album. Well, this was right after the Black Album, and they were still going kind of slow. And definitely there are great songs like King Me 2x4, King Me, King Nothing 2x4, Ain't My B Word, which I can't say. Also Bleeding Me, and it's also great. It also inspired a bunch of people to start listening to Metallica, just like the Black Album, which is a good thing. But I just think whenever I think of this song, it reminds me of Load with kind of just a pushover a bit of a Metallica album. And so let's just skip over this. And just so you know, these first two songs, 10 and 9, that represent the first two albums, they are just the mediocre albums in my opinion. Once we hit 8, all of them are amazing in my opinion. So at number 8, the album is Saint Anger. What a surprise! And the song is, well, you'll know it when you hear it. It's just some kind of monster. Okay, I'll stop. Frantic is a great opening song for the album. It probably gives it more marks. Like, if it started out with Saint Anger, it probably wouldn't be that good because it doesn't wrap you in. This is also an amazing album. Saint Anger. Some Kind of Monster is definitely my favorite song on the album. Saint Anger is also great. Those are the only two I can think of that I remember being really good. And this is just a jam out album about pure anger, which it works. So yeah, let's just get to the best of the best Metallica albums, which at number 8 comes a really good one. It's called Death Magnetic, and I think I love this album so much because it's it's just great. And the song I picked for Death Magnetic is Cyanide. Great songs on this one are definitely All Nightmare Long, Cyanide, of course, Broken, Beat, and Scared, and also My Apocalypse. Those are just my favorites. I know a bunch of people like Suicide and Redemption, but those are just my favorites. I like them. And I think this is just another album that went back to their roots. They're thrashy, fast, and speed roots. And Cyanide explains that. But coming up is a very unpopular opinion. It's that I do not like this album. And this album, well, I'm gonna just show you what this album's color is. It's the Black Album. Yeah, at number 7 was Sacrilege. You're not a true fan. Oh yeah, and guess what song I picked for this one? It's not Nothing Else Matters. It's not Enter Sandman. It's not And the Wolfman. It's not The Unforgiven. It's this. Sad but true. I say it's probably the hardest on the album. Also, Wherever I May Roam is my second favorite on the album. At one point, I thought that this wasn't even a Metallica album because it wasn't thrashy, it wasn't speed. But hey, Metallica went mainstream off of this album. And probably without this album, many albums that I love wouldn't exist, like Saint Anger and Reload probably wouldn't exist. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about this album. I didn't like it. Alright, this is a really good one coming up. This one is called Hardwired to Self-Destruct, and the song I picked for it was Atlas Rise. No, it's not. What do you expect me? I picked freaking Hardwired. I love this album so much is because it goes back to their thrashy, hard roots where they just were rocking out, playing hard, good, fast metal. And I think the title track, Hardwired, explains that. And there are parts of this song I cannot say because I don't want my video to be taken down. So I'm gonna find a way to turn this up. There we go. So, this is just a great album for obvious reasons, and I don't really care about the situation anymore. I'm just going to talk about an album I love. Just turn it down a bit more. And Hardwired is also just a great song by itself. And if it was just a single, it was just 2 songs, and was listed as a main album, it would probably stay at number 6, where it belongs. So this next song is off the Reload album, where this is how I describe it. After Load in the Black Album, they were reloading to a faster and heavier time, and the single off that album definitely makes sense of that. And Fuel, Fire, and Desire, the song about motivation, it's definitely a good way to hook you in, even when there are other great songs. I'm only gonna name one other one because one is good. And if this was only a 2-song album that was called Main, which were just Fuel and The Memory Remains, it would still probably be better than the Black Album, in my opinion. Yeah. And I just think that Reload, technically just reloading back to the old times of their good music and their hard and amazing music, is really cool analogy that many people has brought up. And I'm just happy that they went hard again. Well, Saint Anger, that just kind of. But there's also a very unpopular opinion, which I'm about to put in. At number 4 is, what is it called? Oh, everybody's gonna get angry at me for this. Like how I put And Justice for All at number 4. Alright, so the beginning song, which I think is Blackened, yeah, is great. It's an amazing song. It just helps move along. And the best song is definitely And Justice for All, off of And Justice for All. And it is greatly praised, in my opinion. But there is just 3 albums better than it. And even though I wasn't alive for most of the albums, I was only alive for Death Magnetic and Saint Anger. No, not Saint Anger, freaking Hardwired. Yeah. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna anger anybody, and this is probably not a very popular opinion either, so what is above it is, it would make sense if Kill 'Em All was my favorite album, and that's why it was above And Justice, but no, it's number 3, and Seek and Destroy, yeah. Motor Breath, Seek and Destroy, Whiplash, and Phantom Lord. Also, Four Horsemen. Definitely sum up the album. Hard, fast, beginning of Metallica. And without this album, Metallica probably wouldn't be the Metallica that we know today if it was a different, poppy metal album. And if it was, say, groove or metal or progressive metal, which I don't think Metallica ever had any idea on doing. I just thinking that with doing an album, they just wanted to get one out there, and they just wanted to rock out, and they were doing this while they were teenagers still. They were like around 18, 19, 20. And I'm happy that this album was the album that, started it all. So, there are 2 albums left that I consider the 2 best of all time, but they are not interchangeable. These, and it is obvious that one album will be better than the other at this point. So after I lift this one, you know which one is number 1, but I'm going to still thoroughly talk about this album. This is the title track for the epic Master of Puppets. The song is called So Master of Puppets. It is definitely a great album. One of the best. Not the best though. It is really good. The best track is definitely Master of Puppets. Opening up with Battery is probably a great one. Leper Messiah is also a really good one. Damage Inc. as well. Master of Puppets the best on the album. Sanitarium, a great one. And I think this is the album where everybody knew Metallica means business. This kind of opened up the gates of Metallica's inner popularity. Yeah. And there's just one more album which I think is better. And that album is called Ride the Lightning. And also, you figured out my favorite song because I'm about to play it right now. My favorite song by Metallica, my favorite song on the album, is called Creeping Death. And again, this is just my opinion. Ride the Lightning is the best Metallica album of all time. Maybe it's because my favorite song's on it, but you establish your favorite album before you establish your favorite song. And it probably doesn't help that this was my first Metallica album I've ever listened to fully. First Metallica album I've ever heard was Master of Puppets, and then I fully listened to Ride the Lightning first. And I could say, oh, here are my favorites, but I'll just list them. Fight Fire with Fire. Then it goes, Whom the Bells Toll, Ride the Lightning, Trapped Under Ice, Escape, Call of Cthulhu, However, Creeping Death, Fade to Black. Wait, isn't that all the songs? Yes. I like all the songs. And I think just having the fastest Metallica song, Creeping Death, be my favorite. Also be on my, pretty much I think the fastest Metallica album is Ride the Lightning, because everybody knows the iconic Ride the Lightning opening. Everybody knows the For Whom the Bells Tolls. Everybody knows the iconic bass riff and guitar riff of Fade to Black. Everybody knows that people don't like Call of Cthulhu as much as other people do. It's a great song, my opinion, so if you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. And I just think Ride the Lightning is the best, not because of all its publicity and how it made Metallica big. It's how it made me a Metallica fan, and how I started to like Metallica, because this was the first Metallica album I just decided to sit down and listen to fully, like on a car ride or something. And it's not a long album. It's around an hour. Compared to other metal albums like Book of Souls, which is 90 minutes. Saint Anger is really long. So is Hardwired. Actually, wait, no, it's not. Wrong album. Death Magnetic. But Creeping Death brings Metallica into a great type of metal, because it's fast, it's amazing, and that's why I think it's the best song on the album. I just think Ride the Lightning is also amazing because of its iconic opening. For Whom the Bells Toll is just iconic in every single way, because it's For Whom the Bells Toll. Let's be real. Fade to Black is also, I think Fade to Black is kind of overrated, but it's not that bad. I think Call of Cthulhu is very underrated instrumental. It's probably better. I think it's better than Orion. I'll say it. It's better than Orion. And that's what it is. It's better than Orion. And I've been going on for 3 minutes about how much I love Ride the Lightning. Trapped Under Ice. Metallica is the only band to ever play in Antarctica, and they gave up the amazing opportunity to play Trapped Under Ice in Antarctica. They just gave it up, man. They just gave it up. This is also a very iconic part where whenever you'd see this live, the whole crowd just starts chanting "Die" over and over and over and over. Kind of like how in The Memory Remains, when they do the chorus, they just the chorus. And I think Ride the Lightning is just made of iconic, great guitar riffs, great songs. It's just amazing, man. And that's why I think it's the best Metallica album. And definitely a bunch of people think that Black Album's the best one. Hell, I think at least one person thinks that Saint Anger is the best Metallica album. And I know people who think that And Justice for All is the best album, and my dad does, and I totally understand that it is an awesome album. I understand all of these. They're all great albums. And I understand my opinion being I agree with it more because it's mine. So, again, I do not own any of these albums or these songs. Physically, I do, but I did not create them. I did not write them. I did not do anything to help with their production, because for most of them, I wasn't even alive. So, yeah. And you just go to Metallica itself, the producers, the writers, which are Metallica, the band players, which are Metallica, and the managers. yeah, and that was just my list. And peace. Bye.